Yo, welcome to the Chillin Island radio program. This is your Indian host, Ashok Kumar Kanabolo, aka Dap. Also Dapwell, which I never really liked that version of my nickname, but I didn't make it up myself. It's not one of those nicknames, so I guess I have to stick with it. I prefer Dap, because Dapwell sounds stupid, like some sort of fake British royalty type name. But I guess there are already a couple Daps, including like Lil Dap from Group Home, and I met this guy Dap something in Seattle a couple years ago, and I remember him being particularly angry, and I was like, dog, I also organically have the nickname Dap, like I didn't just make it up, and because you're like 8 years older than me doesn't make you better than me. In fact, it probably makes you weaker than me. But I might have made up the fact that he was older than me. I don't know if that was true. Actually, he was a mad nice guy, if I remember. He might not have even been an asshole about it. And now that I think of it, if I met a kid who was like 20 and he was like, oh, what up, I'm Dab, I would be mad upset. Especially if he was a man. Now, I'm not saying I'm the man, because I'm definitely not. You're probably wondering why I've been allowed to talk for this entire minute without anybody interrupting me. Even though that was not interesting at all and very self-indulgent, is because my comrades in radio are away. One of them is with his mother. It's her birthday. If I didn't mention it was her birthday and I was just like, he's with his mother, it'd be mad funny. You'd be like, what a weird kid. Lex is with his mom, and Alec is in Miami, presumably not with his mom, with Alec's mom or Lex's mom in Miami, doing some no wave, more in Bondaroff, Elara Pictures, no vacancy shit. Some cool guy shit in Miami for Basel, right? That's how you say it. I know that much. I was there last year and I still didn't really figure out how to say it. It was mad stupid when I went there last year. I've been to Miami a couple of times, and like I had never had a good time there. Once I was only there for a day and a half, and some tour shit, I was just tired and shit. That was not that interesting. The other time, which is also not that interesting, but is a longer, uninteresting story, we had this 6-week tour in 2011, and right in the middle, around the middle, was Miami. So we were like, yo, let's just take a couple of days off in Miami. Like, we'll have like 4 or 5 days. We'll get a hotel and shit. I think we got like a slightly less shitty hotel than we normally do, which is not my doing, because I actually really dislike luxury hotels. They make me feel really lonely and weird, and it's harder to ask for shit like, yo, could I get a water kettle? Like, they don't bring you water kettles at nice hotels a lot of the time. They'll bring you, like, a guy will bring hot water, and I was like, dog, you don't understand. Like, I'm a fucking fiend. I need like 20 or 30 cups a day. Like, I can't keep asking this fucking guy to bring me water. I'm definitely not gonna give him any fucking money the second or third or fifth time. Anyway, so we were at some fucking hotel, and the day we get in, it's mad beautiful. It was the afternoon and shit, and I was like, we go and get, like, you know, the things that you get when you're in Miami. I don't know how to say that shit. So I was like, all right. And then the next day it's raining, and then the third day it was raining, and the fourth day it was raining. And it wasn't just like raining intermittently. It was raining and overcast every single minute of all of the days that we had scheduled to be there. And I think I've told parts of the story before, but like right outside the window of my hotel room was this Checkers. So it was just like, you know, I forgot what hotel it was. But then across the street, there's a big parking lot and a Checkers. And like everybody was mad, bummed out, and bored. So like, you know, I'm like mad geeked up on all the wild shit that I caught the first day I was there when it was nice, but I wasn't doing anything fun really. So I'd just be sitting there like mad fucked up, looking at the window while it was raining at this parking lot and seeing all the other people I was on tour with intermittently like go into the Checkers and like coming out, some like eating in the like fucking parking lot. And then I'd see them like hours later being like, yo dog, I have like terrible diarrhea. Like every single person, I was like the 7 people I was with all got diarrhea. And I would spend the days watching them buy the shit that gave them diarrhea, and then the nights listening to them talk about fucking having to take a shit. So that was my experience with Miami, and I went there December last year to do whatever Alex doing now, same kind of thing. And I was like, oh, Basel. For whatever reason, I had this idea in my head. I was like, yo, fuck art. art is dumb. You know, not I can't quite explain it, but I had this stupid idea about art in my head at that time, where I was like, oh, I'm gonna make it my goal to go to Basel and not see a single piece of art. So yeah, that went well. Like the first 2 days, like I didn't go and see anything. I didn't really think about it. It's not that hard to avoid the art at Basel. It's apparently like one of those deals now, where it's just less and less about the thing it was originally about. But and then on the third day we had to go meet Aaron, and he was at, I think, NADA or whatever, which is another one of the art fairs or something that goes on at the same time. So we ended up having to go look at art because he was at the gallery. And I remember, you know, it's this big convention center split up into all these tons of little booths with all these little galleries from all over the country, you know, displaying their artists and the work and stuff. And it was mad ill. Like I immediately felt intense regret about my decision. And then it just so like immediately, like I came to realize how stupid, like all my whole plan was in like 1 second. Like I saw one beautiful thing as we were walking to the lobby, and I was like, oh, art is beautiful and very interesting to contemplate, and would have made this weird, you know, rap party, cool guy 4 days I'm spending in Miami more meaningful and interesting if I also looked at art instead of just being in the hotel and then like running around at night. So I don't know why I told that story, but Alec is in Miami right now. What else I want to talk about, man? I gotta get some things off my chest while I got the time. I think I can give up mostly the dream. It's not a big dream. It's like a low level dream. I've been wanting to own a Rolex now for about 3 or 4 years. No, not before that. I didn't care about watches before that. And before Alec got his shit, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. You know, like let me learn about Rolexes, since this guy seems to be talking about what kind of Rolexes he wants, is doing the research. And then immediately, and I'm not one of those guys who gets like super hooked on anything and starts going deep into the forums. I go deep into whatever, you know, relevant forums of shit that I'm geeking up on. But, you know, that's few and far between. I'd say there's 4 things a year. Every season, there's something I get really obsessed on that I previously knew nothing about, that I'll spend a couple days or weeks researching deep into, and then maybe, you know, most of the time I lose interest in shit. But yeah, so I started doing that with Rolexes and shit and developed my preferences, and it became this thing in my mind, like all these things do, where it's like, damn, this is going to be this meaningful moment for me. I can't cop it right now, A, because I can't afford to buy one right now, the one that I want at least, and B, it has to be something that I buy when it means something. So I want, and I don't want like a cheap one. I want a stainless one. At least for my first one, I was like, nah, I want to get a 18 karat Spanish day date. The day date is the one that has the, you know, the day of the week on the top, and it tells you what day, the date on it. It's called a day date. but I wanted the one that says the day of the week in Spanish. And that shit's like, you know, you get lucky, you buy one that might not be real on eBay, probably is, but it might not be real on eBay for like 9,000-10,000 sometimes. But usually, if you spend like 12,000 to 15,000, you can get one from like Bob's Watches or one of these like resellers that does the due diligence on if they're real and shit. So for a while, I was like, yo, that's what I want. I want to get this Rolex. But then I also developed a fascination with this other type of Rolex. It's called a Pepsi. It's a GMT Master 2. Is a Rolex model, and they have like these bezels, these big bezels, and they come in different colors, where the top and the bottom will be different colors. And there's the Coke bezel, where it's red and black, and then the Pepsi bezel that's red and blue. And it's just with the stainless, or maybe with the two-tone, which means there's 2 types of metals, a stainless and a gold, and there'll be a little gold line running through the middle. This is mad interesting, I realize. But that was the second watch that I always wanted to get. So I had this in my head for the last couple of years. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get these watches and I'm gonna wear this watch, and people would be like, damn, that's a guy who could afford a watch like that. And it's a nice one of those kinds of watches like that. This is a special kind of guy. This guy has good taste and he has money. He must be a success. You know, all the shit that makes you want to get a Rolex. And then, like, in light of this year specifically, a bunch of shit is happening to me, and I was thinking about a bunch of shit where I was like, you know what? I don't know how much I care about that shit, and it really is a lot of money, and the guilt was setting in. I was like, some Schindler's List shit. I was like, I can't do a lot of this stuff and be the kind of good guy I want to be, rocking like, this $15,000. That's a cheap one. It's $15,000 Rolex, Instead, like those people, I feel like a lot of people, I don't want people to think those things about me, like. And then after all this fucking, this Trump shit and all this stuff and all the plans and stuff I've been working on and all the shit I want to do on my good guy stuff, I was like, I don't want the fucking Rolex anymore. And anyone who knows the watch I wear right now is I got these two types of HMT watches, these Indian watches that they made. When they started making them, but it's called I think it's called Hindustan Machine Tools, and they were just like as a government run company that made watches and clocks in India and shit, and they were fairly ubiquitous for a while, and somewhat shitty watches that when they privatized the economy, immediately just got knocked out the box. Like same with a lot of Soviet shit. Like people are like, all these brands and objects and things that the government made that meant a lot to them in their childhood that immediately just got blown away when anyone else was allowed to make the same shit. I'm gonna just wear that shit. I'm gonna wear those HMT watches. It's more meaningful to me. They're cheap as shit. Like I like them. They look mad nice, but you gotta wind them every morning and shit. And they only cost like $20 or $30 or whatever. But my final thing I'm gonna say about the watches is this: maybe if I have 100 G's in the bank, at that point, and I'm doing all my good guy stuff that I want to do, that I'm gonna talk about later, my 3-pronged good guy plan. If I'm doing all the good guy shit and somehow stack 100 G's, I'm gonna get that date. Fuck it. And if I have, after doing all that shit, still doing my good guy shit, and let's say I have 250 G's, I'm gonna get that fucking Pepsi Bezel GMT Master 2, man. Because at that point, it's like almost a sign from God or whatever you believe in that I should get the watch. That stupid shit mad people believe where they're like, yo, I wear these clothes and I drive this mad expensive car because I want to be an inspiration to people to let them know that you can make it. And that thinking has a lot of validity depending on who you are. But a lot of people I've heard make that argument, I'm like, that's just a bunch of shit in a way for you to talk about, justify all the money that you're wasting on bullshit. And a lot of those people don't even look ill. If you're spending that much money and you whack, if you're poor for that long, you just don't have that much money for that long, and you spend like months on a forum researching Rolexes. Once you have a little bit of money, you can squeeze a lot of gear and freshness and style, as corny as that sentence sounds, out of that little bit of money. I'm gonna stop talking right now though. But today's Twitter poll question I've had, I'm not a big user of spoons, never have been. A lot of the food I grew up eating, we'd eat with our hands and shit. A lot of the South Indian food, I mean, obviously I ate a ton of American food too, but a lot of the times at night when I'd eat with my parents, you eat with your hands and shit. And I just, regardless of all that shit, I just don't like spoons. I don't like when you pull them out of your mouth and you have to like lick all the shit off. I don't like the way that the shit feels. I don't like the vibe of a spoon. I'm a fork guy. Through and through, I'll eat stuff like ice cream, cereal. I'll eat shit like that with a fork. Soup, I love eating soup with a fork. Get all the shit out, and then I guess Chinese style, when I'm done eating all the shit in the soup, then I'll guzzle the liquid at the end, and you feel really strong. Especially if it's a nice hot brothy soup, you feel really strong afterwards. But I guess, I didn't think much of it, but apparently people like fucking spoons a lot. So I guess my today's Twitter poll is spoon or fork. What do you like more? Do you like to use spoons? Do you like to use forks? Yeah, man. So chilling out. I'm going to play some more music. We're going to get into the Nazi Watch week 4 after this, so stay tuned for that. Yo. Welcome back to Chillin Island fucking radio broadcast tower network hat. Jeez. Mousetrap. Yeah, man. Week 4 of Nazi Watch, our newest segment where we keep you updated on the latest happenings in increasingly authoritarian fascist America. But I was kind of lazy in doing my research, so I just kind of probably skimmed the headlines, which I'm sure most of you did, or maybe probably read more than I did, but fuck it. You know what I mean? Sometimes when I do the show and I talk about stuff, it's less about conveying information than it is for me to process things that I had seen earlier, which is a terrible way to do radio. But you know what? I don't give a fuck. Donald Trump, who is the president-elect of the United States of America now, is going on a thank you tour, which they, like many things he's doing, is unprecedented for a president to do. So he's going on a thank you tour starting in Ohio to thank his fans and supporters. This dude is already president. Like, you know, you'd expect that he would transition to some sort of like, you know, some other idiotic paternalistic way of treating people, but, you know, with that was imbued with more responsibility and shit. Like, oh, the citizens of the nation that I'm now the president of versus like my fans. My American fans, I'm the president, because he didn't think he was going to win. Nobody did. And the director of the tour had to clarify that it was a thank you tour, not a victory tour. That was something that was clarified, because I guess it sounded like mad weird to call it a victory tour. Anyway, he's been appointing a lot of tokens into his cabinet, I guess. And this week he appointed two more. Nikki Haley will be the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Nikki Haley, who is the governor of South Carolina, and whose real name is Nimrata Randhawa. Her name is not Nikki Haley. She is Indian. She's Punjabi, though she never talks about it, which is fine, I guess, unless you're the governor of a state, and then you should probably be more forthright about your identity and upbringing, because it could embolden people with the same identity and upbringing. And it's also creepy to make up a fake name and act like you're white. It's understandable. That disease is understandable, but it's still whack. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, I can understand. I mean, I understand it to some extent. I mean, it's just so endemic too. The Indians. We got Bobby Jindal, Piyush, fucking pretending he's white. He's more of a devil than she is. But god damn it, it's a bad contest to be having. Like, I get it. Like Mindy Kaling and her stupid demon brother. You know, I forget her real name. I think her last name's Chokalingam. And it's like, okay, you're trying to be like an actress or a writer in Hollywood, and you have like, your last name's Chokalingam, and I can't remember her first name. All right, you know, make up your little name and stuff like that. But I don't know. She's kind of foul and has done a lot of whack shit, but I'm not going to turn this into us shitting on Mindy Kaling party. We're going to keep it to Nazi watch. The new Secretary of Transportation is an East Asian woman named Elaine Chao, who has a ton of government experience, which isn't a thing that a lot of the people that Donald Trump is going to appoint. They're supposed to be outsiders, and they're not from what's the phrase they use, the swamp or whatever, which means like they're not in, you know, the insiders from Washington who, you know, politics as usual. You know, that was his whole thing. We're not playing politics as usual. We're going to bring in these outsiders and shake things up. And then he's not obviously doing that, because that's not a real thing that he ever wanted to do. But you might say, oh, Elaine Chao, that sounds interesting. She's married to Mitch McConnell, the what is he, the majority leader? That guy sucks. I mean, look at that dude. Creepy looking white guy, tiny glasses. Anyone who'd marry that dude and presumably fuck that dude is definitely a sellout traitor. So I don't expect much from Elaine Chao. Also, she's going to be in charge of all the crazy infrastructure plans that Donald Trump is pretending that he's going to actually enact. Which is fucked too, because like the infrastructure of public transportation in particular in the United States is fucked. Like, this is a giant fucking, as we learned from this country where we all thought Hillary Clinton was going to win in New York, and then we're like, oh, there's a bunch of other parts of the country and they voted for Donald Trump to be president. I guess I don't understand what's going on, and this place is really huge. But outside of the fact that there's a lot of people that you would never want to talk to who live here, it's also just a bunch of places that you also never want to visit, and some that you probably would, like Hawaii. And Yosemite National Park. Well, I'm losing the thread very rapidly of what I'm talking about. All right. So like the infrastructure and the public transportation infrastructure, presumably there would be a lot of trains that would be easy to take, so you could get around this giant fucking country quickly and efficiently. But for a bunch of reasons, namely, if you ever read this book called Geography of Nowhere, by this guy, James Howard Kunstler, I believe is his name. Fucking one of my favorite books ever, but it talks a lot about how America after World War II was uniquely positioned in terms of resources and all the industry and factories that got built up after World War II and prestige in the world and, American spirit or whatever the fuck you want. We're in this unique position, to do all these unprecedented things, and then instead it was the largest squandering of resources in human history. The way that the United States, instead of focusing on, building trains and creating like sustainable cities and agriculture, all this other stuff that I don't really understand. Instead, they just built a bunch of shitty suburbs that could only possibly exist if oil was continuously cheap and available in unlimited amounts till the end of time is the only way that having a country made of suburbs could exist. So in the 40s, 50s, 60s, blah, 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 that's what America did. They built highways, they tore all the tracks up, they tore a ton of public transportation and trolleys and all these other things that existed in cities. A lot of it General Motors actually did. They would buy bus lines and trolley lines and just rip the fucking tracks out, and instead they'd put roads and cars or GM buses or whatever instead, so they could make mad loot. But obviously that fucked up the potential to have these trains that you could take cheaply to get from place to place. I don't fucking travel that often in the Northeast because I'm not like a dude who travels a lot. Believe it or not, I'm not that busy. But like from what I heard from people who take like Amtrak and shit, that shit sucks. Like even like trying to go to like Philly and DC, which should be mad easy, from New York is like a huge pain in the ass and like a lot of delays, and it's mad expensive. I don't know that much. Even when we used to tour, I do little things here and there and shit. It would always be cheaper to take the bus, and that doesn't make any sense. So that's going to like Philly or DC from New York. So you can imagine trying to go like anywhere else in the country. So it's fucked that this dude is proposing like nominally to do these things that are actually really necessary in America, and it's like $1 trillion job, and he's trying to make it seem like it would be like FDR post Great Depression public works administration shit. But he's Donald Trump, and he's just bringing in a bunch of fucking white supremacist Nazis to enact these infrastructure plans. So I mean, it just sucks that he keeps like touting this incredible necessary thing as the centerpiece of how he's going to transform America, and it's a lie. Is particularly like disturbing and shit. But that's it for this week's Nazi Watch. And the new Secretary of Health and Human Services is some guy whose name I can't even remember, Tom Price, I think, who's a vocal critic of Obamacare and is going to immediately enact the repeal and replacement of Obamacare with some garbage that sucks. So that, and now he has all these Republicans in the House and Senate and a Republican president to help him do that. So that's very unfortunate. As a person who has Obamacare, doesn't really use it. I went to the doctor once in the last 15 years. I went to a dentist once since I was 10. A couple years ago, it was this Puerto Rican lady on Graham Avenue in Williamsburg, and I went in. She had a crazy hair. The whole office looked like the woman in the whole office was from like 1974. It was incredible. The floor, everything but the secretary, who was not well, anyway. So I went in and she's like, "When's the last time you've been to the dentist?" 'Cause I had no records or nothing. And I was like, "I don't know." When I was like 8, and I was like, like 29 or something at this time. And she's like, "Oh my God," she made this insane face. And then she looked at my teeth, and I always thought I had nice teeth, and I do. She was like, "Oh, you have beautiful teeth, and you have no cavities." And to be completely fucking honest with y'all, I don't take particularly good care of my teeth. I do now, but I still don't. I'm gonna be completely honest, I only brush like 5 times a week sometimes. You know what I mean? If I don't leave my house sometimes, if I'm just going to the gym or whatever and working from my crib and doing projects and stuff, and I'm not going to see anybody, I won't shower, and I brush my teeth in the shower. I always brush my teeth in the shower. So those days that I don't shower because I don't have to see me, sometimes I don't brush my teeth, you know. And I floss and shit, but only on those days that I brush. So I'm not even doing anything special. I guess it was like a genetic trade-off and shit. I have a very, I'm like, damn, I have like a very hairy back. I'm covered in hair and shit. Makes it tough to go to the beach, but I have beautiful teeth. And people even comment on my teeth. They like my teeth. They say you have beautiful teeth to me sometimes. And I have no cavities. I lost the thread of what I was talking about. Anyway, that's it for Nazi Watch. And you know, and earlier this year, the last 2 or 3 years, I've been trying to spend more time thinking about what I'm going to do to be a better person and doing a bunch of stuff that I don't want to mention specifically what I do because it sounds weird, but a lot of it involves being involved in local politics, working with local politicians and community people to whatever extent I can, volunteering. My neighbor works at the senior center called the Swingin' 60s Senior Center, where they also have a lot of community board meetings. They used to. So I help him, and I also volunteer through New York Cares, and that's all good and well. And it's not about like fucking, you know, I do this, I do that, shit like that. It's more about like, that's what I like to do. I'm not that smart a guy. I'm not the type of guy who traffics in telling people what to do or how to think. At least I'm not good at it. Some people, when they talk, they can teach you all these things, and they can kind of influence your thinking in a way where you don't feel like they're assholes or they're condescending or patronizing. And you're like, wow, I'm learning shit, and this guy's getting me inspired. And I really like that. I'm confused myself about what life is, and I'm not that smart or incredible communicator and shit like that. I'm pretty vulgar and whatnot. I get angry very quickly. I used to constantly tweet about like, this guy should be stripped and whipped. That was always the thing I would say when someone did some dickhead shit or a politician fucked up. I was like, this guy should be dragged out of his house, whipped and stripped. Like, that's not really particularly inspiring, and that's not the kind of shit that like you need to. That's not how you should talk about things right now in this climate, I feel. But anyway, I was like, okay, and you know, I was like, I'm trying to do this shit, and then this shit happened, you know, this election. I was like, all right, you know, I feel a lot of people, life has been thrown into focus and shit. You know, people are more woke than ever, you know, when it comes to, you know, Dakota Access Pipeline, following these cabinet appointments and stuff like that. And I hope that engagement lasts, you know what I mean? Because, you know, people lose interest and stuff like that. Though I don't think that's going to happen, because the next 4 to 8 years are going to be so insane, week by week, day by day, that there's never going to be an opportunity not to talk about a crazy thing that these motherfuckers are doing, or a horrible thing these motherfuckers are doing. It's not a good thing, but, you know, good can come out of bad things. But anyway, I'm just trying to say, like, I have this 3-point plan, this 3-pronged plan. It's not like I don't think about it in that way, but I was trying to distill it. And I was like, all right, who am I? Where am I at? How can I be of service to the world or whatever? And I was like, all right, the 3-pronged plan is this, you know. All right, there's 3 things you can contribute, you know, or I feel I can contribute. And that's my time, that's my money, and that's my knowledge. And the money part is theoretical, and the knowledge probably also. So I started out with my time. I'm like, I'm a guy, you know, I work on a lot of stuff. A lot of it is not particularly popping, and some of it is doing all right. But regardless, I cannot lie to myself. I do have time. We're all that busy in New York. We're all trying to do all sorts of shit. But come on, man, like, the day after you go out drinking and shit, you throw away at least 5 or 6 hours. And maybe you drink once a week, but you probably drink 2-3 times a week. So you're throwing away like 20 hours that you could be doing shit, you know? Let's not lie to ourselves. That's one thing that I think is important, is we should all stop lying to ourselves and become better people if possible. And I think that that's not disconnected from being better to and for other people. You know what I mean? It's usually this idea of like, yo, I'm gonna be at home, I'm gonna become the man, and when I'm the man, I'm gonna go run amok and make other people's lives better once I'm the man. And I was like, nah, you know, it doesn't really work like that. Like, once, you know, get yourself straight. I think about it in terms of concentric circles, both as a life plan and as when I wake up in the morning, you know, sometimes literally, but usually abstractly. I don't actually literally think about the circles, but it's like, you know, start in the middle of this concentric circle, and that's you, and be like, am I all right? Am I like strong? I feel all right physically, mentally? Am I fucked up right now? All right, who's next? Your girl, or your wife, husband, whatever, partner. All right, are they okay? Good, like, okay, once you move out of your circle of view, you're like, how can I hold these people down? Are they okay? Blah, 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 my kids, blah, blah, blah. You move in these concentric circles as far out as you can go. Next step could be your neighbors, could be your community, your extended family, your friends or whatever. You don't have to, some people aren't going to go all the fucking way out to be like, how's the people from 3 blocks away, man? Are they okay? I mean, obviously, a lot of people can't do that, but that's a good way to think about it. But back to the 3 ways that you can contribute, or I feel I can contribute, is my time, my money, and my knowledge. My time, I'm like, you know what? I'm a dumb guy. I'm not a particularly inspiring guy, but I am inspired, even though I'm not an inspiring person. So I'm like, let me go. I like to do stuff with my hands, like when I go help people, when I first started doing this volunteer program, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I think I want to teach kids, how to read. I think I want to help people practice for their citizenship tests. I think I want to help people practice their English conversation. And the citizenship volunteering work I did, that actually went really well because it was a very narrow task. It's like you go and they hand you like sample questions and you work with, it was predominantly Mexicans that I was working with at this place. And, they're just practicing like knowing the answers to questions, and what they don't know, you fucking tell them the answer after. It's mad easy. And there's some language issues, but that was usually already worked out. The other 2 were I was like, this shit is not for me. Like, I don't like kids. I don't like talking to them and shit. Some of the little kids, I remember at this elementary school, they gravitated towards the other volunteers. I felt very angry and hurt. I was like, well, this fucking kid doesn't like me. Why the fuck doesn't this kid like me? This is bullshit. This chick that the kid is gravitating towards is a loser. Like, okay, I felt like I was like in middle school and like kids weren't like playing with me or like being friends with me and shit. So I was like, this is not for me. And a lot of the other stuff, I was like, this isn't what I like to do. So then I finally figured out, I was like, I just like doing manual labor. Like, I like packing Meals for Wheels. I like handing out like bags of potatoes to people who need like food. Like, I love that shit. Like, we would do it out in the cold in like the projects or in Astoria. And I was like, I love this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm dumb, but I'm fairly strong. I like this shit. People need potatoes. So that's my time. That's how I volunteer my time. A lot of y'all, you might have families. You might be famous or be very busy legitimately, so you don't have time to hand out potatoes. That's fine. But you probably have some guap, right? So the way I was thinking about it is, I'm going to get into my whole plan. I don't have that much money to be giving away right now, but we're putting out some Chillin Island pins. They're really nice pins. We're going to sell them in sets of 2 probably in the next week or 2. It'll be ready for the holiday season. So we're going to donate 100% of the profits from these pins. It's not going to be a shitload of money. It's going to be a decent amount of money to 3 charities. Dakota Access Pipeline charity that we're going to choose. A charity called Empower, an organization called Empower that does Muslim American rights work. And the Innocence Project that actually Barry Scheck from OJ fame started, that helps to use DNA evidence to exonerate convicted people. It's an incredible organization. It's insane, actually. Like, it is very hard not to cry when you read like these, because they have a little like newspaper that they send out to you, like a newsletter. And when you just read like these dudes talking about like their time in prison and then the day they got out, like, it's like impossible not to cry. Like, I'll just be like taking a shit reading like this newsletter and just be crying in there because it's insane. Imagine just losing 20 years of your life for the shit you didn't do when you were a kid and now you're like 38, and like a lot of them develop like this inner strength, so they'll be like very positive about shit, and I'll be like, damn, I'm like complaining because like my girl's not cleaning the cat litter, and I'm like, this fucking bitch isn't cleaning the cat litter, and this dude's like being positive, and he just got wasted 20 years of his life down the drain. Anyway, raise money, give money to where it needs to go. You know what I mean? Like, people like to talk about ways that they can volunteer, blah blah blah. If you got dough, trust me, the money that you give people who need money and the organizations that need the money, usually a lot more important than your little like hour, volunteering a week that makes you feel better. That's fine. But if you got the dough, give up the fucking dough. You know that's true. So if you have the money, that's the money. And then lastly, it's knowledge, time, money, and knowledge. Like, there's a lot of South Asian youth organizations and in general organizations that I've been wanting to get involved with for years, that I participated in when I was younger, here and there, but I was a weirdo and a fucking derelict, so I wasn't really trying to like go to a place to learn things when I was a kid and shit. But like now that I'm older, I feel like, damn, like I would love to talk to other, young South Asian kids now, especially now, when everything's really fucked up, when being brown, being Muslim and stuff like that. But just, even outside of that, I'm like, I'm like a mad weird kid. And especially when I was growing up, there were not that many South Asians or Indians. Probably there's no brown people on TV, no brown rappers and shit. It was a handful, but it was not a thing. And there was always this identity issue with that. And I was a weird kid, and I liked art and creativity, whatever, and I was a fuck up, and I was a derelict and a maniac and shit. And New York, is very diverse, but it's also fucked up, very segregated, racist place and shit like that. And I was, I think a lot of the time, like, what, in what ways did me not having anyone that I could relate to or someone I could talk to, or even like people that I was looking at who were 10, 15 years older who looked like me, but like were ill in a way that I wanted to be ill. Like, how did that lead to a lot of the years that I wasted in my life doing wild shit and being an asshole and a moron and a piece of shit? So I was like, now I'm a little older and I'm only like a tiny piece of shit. So I was like, all right, what knowledge do I have about like, whatever things I know how to do, with computers or writing or, art, whatever the fuck it is. How can I impart that knowledge and that confidence and like, whatever I might know about how things work and how people can make money, and how if somebody talks to me about like, 17-year-old kids, like I want to be a poet, I want to be a writer, I want to do this, I want to get into that. I'll be like, you know what? I might not know that much specifically about how to create that kind of work, but I know a lot of people who do, and I've been around people who do that, and this is what I know about what they did to become successful at that, versus, but I, primarily what I would like to do, I haven't enacted the knowledge part of the plan yet, because I got it, as I said with the concentric circle, I gotta end this in a second. As I said with the concentric circles, I'm still in the middle part in a lot of ways, because I gotta secure my livelihood and shit. But that's why I'm thinking, I was like, the second I secure my livelihood, I need to enact this 3-pronged plan. And the plan, of course, is for other people, but it's also for me, because that's just how I want to live and make the world a better place and shit like that. But it feels good, so yeah, that's it, man. I don't want to talk anymore about that, but if you're like, I want to do good, and you're sending your money out to all these links and clicking all these links. Today's National Giving Day. There's a lot of donation matching going on at organizations. So if you want to give dough, you got fucking 87 minutes on the West Coast, and a lot of that money's getting matched. But send that money stuff. But if you want to get more involved, think about donating your time, your money, and your knowledge or whatever, get involved with organizations where you can teach younger people or older people how to do stuff, or, people who have had no privilege in their lives and want to learn things. You can teach them the specifics of your trade or craft, especially if you're an artist. You can do that if you have the time and you really want to do it. And that makes a huge fucking difference. Your time is shit. If you want to fucking break rocks for some organization or hand out potatoes and shit, it is a really good feeling to do that stuff, and it is really important. It's like somebody's got to hand out the potatoes. They don't have robots handing out potatoes. And obviously money, number one. Spend your money at places that deserve to get the money, and give it to places that deserve to get it. I'm gonna just say like one more thing. This is completely unrelated. So all that shit with Kanye is really sad. Seems like he had some sort of psychotic break, and we were talking about how it might be some drug shit last week. I don't know. It's stupid to speculate about that shit. But one thing I really do like is Kanye and Kim's relationship. Actually really touching. They are really very, they seem to be really very in love with each other and very supportive of each other. And I'm basing this on when I'm watching Entertainment Tonight on the treadmill, and they'll just show Kim leaving a hotel to go meet Kanye after this fucked up shit happens, and just the look on her face and shit, and the look on his face when that shit happened in Paris. I'm like, these people, for all the things, the many things that are wrong with these two fucking celebrity morons, it seems like they really do have a loving relationship. And there's something about that I find, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So, Kanye kind of lost a lot of the thread after he yelled that shit about George Bush and black people. the ensuing years, he kind of seems to have lost an idea about where he is in the world and what he wants to do and achieve, and he seems really desperate for white approval and shit and institutional establishment approval. But I don't know what it's like to, believe it or not, I don't know what it's like to be Kanye West, because I'm me. All right, cool. I'm gonna play some more music on the radio show. Vote in the Twitter poll. I just want to know if y'all like spoons or forks more. I personally like forks. Chillin' Island. Yo. Welcome back to Chillin' Island. I want to talk to you people. Call me 347-460-8136. That number once again is 347-460-8136 if you want to chitty chatty with me, Ashok, on the radio show Chillin' Island. Please call me. I want to talk to you, please. I'm desperate to talk to all of my fans and all the men and the women out there who just want to know what's going on. Oh man, Jerobi's rapping on that new Try record. It's not great. He really sounds like a guy who doesn't rap. But you know, it's very charming, and the record is very, very excellent. Because I'm terrified, I'm running out of things to say, I'm going to let you guys know something. I know our fan base skews young, and what's hip with the young kids right now is the 90s. We got a caller, Chillin' Island. You're live on the air.
Yo, what's up, dude?
Oh, what up, dude?
Is it just you?
Yeah.
It's your boy Sweet Dog, man. I miss you. I love you. How you been?
Oh, what up? Yeah, I actually thought you were someone else right now. Is why I said that. I said that really like warmly.
And now I want to die.
No, actually, now I like you again because you seem really polite. I love you, Sweet Dog.
Nice.
Is that what you said your name?
Yeah, Sweet Dog.
That's incredible. Tell me about that
Remember
nickname.
I was saying on my band Dick Juice a while ago?
I don't even know if you're trying to play me right now, but regardless, I still like you. How'd you get the nickname Sweet Dog?
It was an insult, and then I just ran with it.
Wow, whoever is trying to shit on you by calling you Sweet Dog is very bad at that.
They fucked up. It's the coolest nickname I ever had.
Yeah. What were some of the
They used to
whacker
call me
ones?
Spider.
Spider is sick. You ever seen Goodfellas? Spider's the motherfucker they shoot in the foot.
That's where it was from.
Yeah.
Because I was like 12 years old, and all the drug dealers, I used to be like, yo, your mom got a dick and a pussy. And they was like, yo, you disrespectful. They was like, yo, you going to get shot. They was like, that's how you going to die. You going to get shot. We're going to call you Spider now.
And you didn't like that nickname? Spider?
Oh, I liked it. No, well, you know what it turned into? It turned into Spizzy, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
That's not very good.
That shit is lame.
Sounds
that's
like
that's like
fake
Averex
Averex
always been wearing
brand.
like a I Sell Reggie backpack.
You should get a chain made out of wood. I think that's really hip right now. Maybe a little Jesus piece on there. Made of wood.
You know, when you said that for a second, I thought you was talking about one that looks like one of those, those gold-plated like rope chains, with just wood.
You
do that?
You mean like a fake gold rope chain from like Urban Outfitters type thing?
Yeah, but it looks like wood, not like it's wood and they spray painted gold or whatever.
They make those rope chains look like wood on purpose, is the thing?
I mean, I thought that's what I thought of when you said it. It's probably not a thing, but I would get it.
You know what? Sweet Dog, I'm going to let that go.
Huh?
I'm going to let that go. Tell me something, man. Talk to me.
Nothing, man. I'm chilling, man. I called to see what's up with you.
Damn.
You're my guy.
I talked a lot about everything that I've been thinking for 6 months, and I refuse to answer any questions about myself. Oh, how you like them?
They're all right.
Yo, I like you. I appreciate your honesty. Yo, it's hard, man.
I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I feel some of them are really good, and that like when I'm done, like when I check Twitter, I'm like, damn. Mm-hmm. And then other Jones, I'm just like, yo, I don't know if he's bored or.
All right, yo, tell me which of the ones do you like more? You like that? Sometimes I'm trying to learn as I put them out there.
Let me pull my Twitter because this is one you did. Was it today or like 2 days ago?
I did one that I liked a lot that flopped. If we going by retweets and favorites, and basically what I'm doing is I'm just
go by that. You can't go by that.
I'm not. I go by how I feel, and some of the whack ones, like I think they're whack, but I already put in like 30 minutes, so I'm like, this is going up.
Is that how long it's taking you to write them? Like a half an hour or an hour?
Honestly, some of them take like an hour. I'm very loath to admit that I spend an hour writing poems for Twitter, but like I said, I do not make very much.
All right,
money.
this is one, and I didn't retweet this or favorite it, but this is one that's the first line had me. The impulse to tear the eyeball from my brother's big bird when I was 6. That just resonated with me.
Oh, you like that one? Good. I like that one too. I stand by that. The one about the Marvel cards, I don't stand by that. I don't think it's a good poem. The idea
sometimes
totally
it's up in the air. I write raps, man. Sometimes I like them. Sometimes I hate them. People will tell me that they're good. It doesn't matter. I
think it's not a sign of a true artist. That's too strong a statement. But like, if it like the ones I stand by, poems or anything that I do, if I stand by some dumb shit I said that someone tries to make fun of me for saying, if I like when I say it, I'm like, I like that. Nobody can change my opinion about it. You know.
Yeah, that's definitely man.
Which is why I have like $400.
Yeah, same dog. I've been eating. I'm eating right now these carrots that are probably like a month old, but I don't have no other food, man.
Damn, adult carrots or little baby bag carrots?
Nah, they're adult carrots. I'm baking them joints right now.
If you can't even afford baby carrots, because the baby carrots are a little more expensive.
They're like $1.
Yeah.
The baby carrots?
Baby carrots usually about $1.49, $2 sometimes for the organic.
I don't live that far. I live in Philly. I bet Philly prices aren't as crazy.
Yeah, because Pennsylvania is a huge carrot growing state. I just made that up. It's not even that funny.
Yeah, you definitely made that shit.
And it's not funny. I don't stand by that. That's what I'm saying. I don't stand by that joke.
You're my guy, man. You're my favorite one.
Ah, that's very sweet.
I'm lying. It's for cutest.
Yeah, he's everybody's favorite one. The Russian bad boy. But I'll tell you what.
Because I seen that music video y'all did back in the day, and I was like, yo, that leather jacket is it.
Which one? Which video?
The joint where he was like, I'm not wavy, man. I'm an ocean.
Oh, yeah. We shot that. What's that song called? Amazing. Das Race is amazing. We shot that all hung over in Savannah, Georgia, in a graveyard, and there was a couple kids in the graveyard who wouldn't let us film them, who were melting candles on a tombstone or something, and we were like, oh, these kids are doing some cool goth shit.
They were summoning that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and then when I asked them later,
they were
like,
Cthulhu.
What? Cthulhu. That dude was racist, right? H.P. Lovecraft. I thought he was the man, and mad people are like, nah, he was racist. And now I know he's the man.
Like him.
Yeah.
Who's the other dude? Orson Welles? That's the other guy. Is that the Scientology dude?
No, Orson Welles probably wasn't racist. He was in 1984 and shit. George Orwell. Oh no! Oh man, we're fucking up right now.
Orson Welles the dude that wrote Grapes of Wrath? I'm getting it all.
Nah, John Steinbeck wrote Grapes of Wrath. Orson Welles is the movie director who also read War of the Worlds on the radio, and he made a documentary called F is for Fake that's mad good. And George Orwell is the guy who wrote 1984, and he was this British dude, but he actually wrote some essays that probably indicate that he wasn't racist about British colonialism in India. And there's a famous story about how, like, his pops was stationed in India, and he remembered when he was a kid, like, this like white British guy was put in charge of having to shoot this elephant that was like fucking with the villagers, and how like the whole incident made him see that like colonialism was this like pathetic venture that was like doomed to fail and like mad fucked up. And he had a huge cock though, which is the most important part. The second half of the story, he just writes about the shape of his cock.
You hear about all these fucked up things, and then like I try to think about what's going on in my life right now, and like my shit is not nearly as interesting.
Nah, I mean, my life is not interesting. That's why I talk about it.
I skateboard everywhere, and I couldn't skate because it was all wet.
Yeah, but me talking on the radio for 90 minutes is less thrilling than like 1 minute on a motorcycle.
Nah, bro,
1 minute on a motorcycle.
Feet,
that's true. I can't deny that. Mainly because I didn't hear what you said.
It's because I got a shit.
Hi, yo. Sweet dog, I'm gonna let you go.
I gotta go, man.
Yeah, it's time for you to go, man.
All right, yo, you're my boy, man. You're a good dude,
Sweet dog. Stay coolin', bro. Do you guys want Sweet Dog to stay coolin', or do you want him to be shot? If you want him to be shot, text yes to 36745. Once again, no, don't do that. It's not a real number. What happened to those, man? Those texting to the thing guys. They don't do that anymore. Oh, because the internet. I forgot. No, and is that why? Maybe it's because smartphones, because they had the internet then, but I don't think people had smartphones. That's such is life. Chillin' Island, you live on the air.
Hey, what's up, Dad?
Hey, man, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Dad?
I'm good. What are you wearing? Pants, shorts?
I'm wearing brown pants and a Champion crew-neck sweater.
What color?
What are you wearing?
What color? I'm wearing Russell Athletics gray sweatpants and a fake Polo Sport fleece from middle school.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. You be at Canal Street copping that real good.
Nah. I am on Canal Street, but I rarely make any purchases there. You know, it's just a very big street.
You want to hear? Speaking of big shit, you want to hear about my kind of immoral trap?
Immoral trap is the words you just said. Yeah,
like trapping. I like cop Gosha. You know what Gosha Rubchinsky is?
Rubinsky, yeah. I know what it is,
like,
and I've seen it at the Comme des Garçons store or whatever. But
I cop like fake Gosha, and like sell that shit on eBay. And, like,
damn, I feel like you're baiting me right now. Are you trying to get me to tell one of my favorite stories right now, man? You trying to?
Dead ass? You got? Oh, word. Tell a story.
I did basically back in the day. Back in the day, I'm gonna kill myself after the show for sure now. But in like 1998, when I was in like middle school, like Rockaware, Fat Farm, and Nietzsche, all that shit was really popular. Less than Nietzsche, it's more like Fat Farm.
Yeah, I remember.
Platinum Fubu Iceberg time. So
I had a Fubu varsity jacket when I was 3 years old. But continue the story.
Are you white? I'm guessing right now.
Nah. I'm black.
Okay.
Do I sound white? Do I sound white over the phone?
To be honest, the reason I asked and didn't super assume is because you have like that twangy Bay Area accent, and like mad people to my New York ears from the Bay Area. I'm like, is this guy white, black, Chinese? Like I cannot fucking tell. It's like Jamaicans.
Because I'm from Jersey, bro. But like, yeah,
dude, stop trying to fucking embarrass me, dude. You're from fucking Alameda. You're a Chinese kid from Alameda, all right? That's the story.
Yes, I'm a kid from Alameda. My favorite rapper is E40.
Yes.
I exclusively eat Mexican food.
Bay Area. Damn. You know the Bay Area they really do have really good Mexican food. It's better. I like it. It's easier to get better Mexican food there readily. Like you get a higher percentage of dope spots. Anyway. So I'm gonna tell you the story. So it's like 1997, 1998 time, and like Rockaware, Platinum Fubu, all this shit. There's a spot in Jamaica called the Coliseum Mall that's on something called the Brick Road, which is just a red Belgian bricks road. Actually, we're gonna be doing a radio show there. We're gonna be doing Chillin' Island live from the Coliseum Mall. I think December 10th, 4 to 6 p.m. But that's neither here nor there. So anyway, on this brick road, there was a ton of counterfeit sales. Like people just selling right up off the street, like fake jeans, fake Rockaware jeans. Like it was like icy denim, you know, that shiny denim period of time. So I would go there with my friend from middle school, and we would buy fake Rockaware jeans and fake Platinum Fubu shorts that would go down to your ankles and had Fat Albert on the back. And we bring these shits back, and we take photos of them and throw them up on eBay. At least I don't remember what the listings were like. And we'd sell them and we make the money. So what we do is we would list them, and then as people bought them, then we would go and we would buy them. But eventually we were like, you know, fucking 12, so we're like, why don't we just sell the shit and just keep the money and not send them shit? So we got mad lazy, and then eventually eBay, at least back then or whatever, if you had a dispute with somebody, it could escalate to the point where eBay would give you their phone number. So some fucking white dude from like Iowa, I remember Iowa was like yelling at my dad one day, and my dad's like, what the fuck is going on? Some guy's talking about shorts, and I was like, what? And he put me on the phone, and then I was like, oh, some guy who like money I took and I didn't send him his fucking Fat Farm shorts is screaming at me. So I made before we fucked it up, we probably made $700 or $800 each, which when you're in fucking seventh grade, that's like $5,000.
That is amazing, yo. That is fire.
It's definitely not amazing, but it is true. It's very not amazing.
You got messed up, but you want to know like the closest shit that I ever got to like being like dead ass like ending my life on some fuck shit, yo.
Holy shit, I can't say no. Yeah, tell me this horrible story.
So my boy is real good at he's real good at like lock picking, right?
Oh, lock picking. I think you said rock picking.
He lives next door because I said I'm from New Jersey, right? So he lives close to a certain university in New Jersey. I'm not gonna name any names, but like we would run up in certain places and like, you know, vending machines, like, you know, unlock that shit, take bread, be out, and we were making bank, and like we were at this university because he lives right next to it, and like this janitor lady, it like comes out of nowhere, and like my boy like blocks it. You know, blocks like the set with like his body and stuff, and his, you know, we're just like, all right, it's straight. And then we hear like a giant ass siren, and it's like the whatever state like alarm system has been activated.
Oh, this is when you already bounced from it. This is when you left the building.
Yeah, and then we're just running. We're just outie, yo. This is next to a hill, so we're just running down that, yo. Yeah. And we were outie. It was straight, but like after that, I was like, all right, well, I can't. I got shit to do. I can't be.
How much? Like, what kind of money are we talking? How much do you usually pull out?
We're
of these
talking like
machines?
All together, probably like 2 stacks.
All in your career, you made two G's.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. I can't. But that's like real crime. You know what I mean? That's like real stealing and shit like that. I wasn't a huge stealer when I was a kid. I stole all the time, but I would never. I wasn't like
all the time.
I wasn't like a robber. I was just like I would steal people's jackets. I would steal mad shit from stores and a little bit of shoplifting, but mostly I would steal from other people, which is even more fucked up. I just wanted their jackets and shit. I was doing it late. I was doing it up until I was 22 or 23. Go to some like party and just steal like purses and or walk out wearing 3 jackets, one on top of another and stuff. It's fucked up. I do really feel bad about that because whenever I lose my shit, like I flip. I lost my wallet a couple of months ago. I fucking went to blow my brains out, and I'm like 30.
I'm a freshman in school, and like the first day here, like I was at this. I don't feel bad about this because these were asshole frat people, but like all right, so like we're in the basement, and this like guy, like he has like no shirt on, and he's like talking to us about his like DJ equipment.
He's talking about his dick and
like,
shit.
Yeah, his dick basically, and he's like his other friend, and you could tell like they're like bros, but like they both like don't have shirts off, and it's like mad homoerotic, and like but like they're like all like scene. Frat brothers. So like he like goes out for a second, and like no one's in the basement at that moment because it's like it gets hot as hell in the basement. Everyone's on the first floor. So my boy like just because he's like a producer, DJ, whatever, takes like
I think whatever is the right answer.
He takes like a mixer board and some other stuff and just like throws that shit in his bag, and like we're out of here. But like you gotta be safe out in these out in these New Brunswick streets, bro.
Right. With that with that whole last story and then that last line, I think I'm gonna let you go. But I enjoy your existence, and you gotta stay in school, man. Adios, amigo.
I will 100% stay in school.
Adios, amigo.
Peace out, bro.
Hard to be mean when you're alone. That's what I'm learning about these calls right now. It is much harder to be mean when you're alone. It's like being mean to someone like talking to you on the train platform, you know what I mean? It's nothing like that. I don't fucking know why I said that. Yay! We'll play a couple more songs. We're gonna wind this little show down. Chillin' Island.
Yo, y'all ready?
Chillin' Islands. That's the end of our show. Before I go, I'd like to drop a little something called Adios.
Twitter poll results. What do y'all think?
Today's Twitter poll. Spoon or fork? What do you like more? Spoon or the fork? Final results. 69% of you. Haha. Fork. That was the correct answer. Fork is more useful, easier to pick stuff up with. You can use it as a weapon. And you can eat yogurt with it. People don't think you can, but you fucking can. Don't be a bitch. All right. We'll be back next week. I think me and Alec are doing that one. And then we have a special December 10th show straight out of the Coliseum Mall in Jamaica, Queens, this Saturday, December 10th, 4 to 6 p.m. Alright, if you in Miami, go fucking find Alec and listen to him DJ or whatever the fuck they're doing on there. And if you're in New York, find me and blow my brains out while I'm waiting online at the 99-cent store. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.